talk about, reducing costs and making it costs less than it used to be, higher than community, in the means of control, and planning and this breeding, guys. It's called breeding. Supply chain is the forest. The forest itself is supply chain, member. So I mean, who knows? I mean, all those critics could be like saying, "Oh shit, that is totally ridiculous." No, it's not ridiculous. Hey guys, I'm Philipp Druzhinin. Welcome you to my channel. Today we're going to talk about survival locations. I think this topic was chosen by the people who were taking participation in a poll on my Facebook Advanced Research group. Okay, so I figured I should make this video because it was like fourth place in the poll. So today we're going to talk about it. So the best survival location is definitely forest. So you have to live somewhere in the forest, near forest, or in the forest. If you're so lucky to have a house in the forest, that would be fine, because the larger the forest and the more aware of the regional map and the landscape you have around, the more chances you have into survival. I mean, you can make so many places to hide inside the forest and nobody gonna know about it. You can make all those hideouts, you make all those reserves, you can make everything. So I mean, you can get prepared, and you be more prepared than anybody else, because the guys who are preparing themselves to hide inside the houses, they're wrong. They're definitely gonna be the main targeted persons, because they're gonna have resources and they're gonna be easy to capture, because everybody's gonna know the location of the place. And obviously if you have weapons there, or food, or any other supplies, you're gonna be definitely smoked by those who have more people and more power. Okay, so your resource is gonna be lost. So no way you should take care of yourself in some area that people living around you. So you have to be aware of the situation, and just have a couple of hideouts and a couple of reserve places where you can easily be visiting while trying to stay near the community. So I mean, and the way the community won't even know about it. So I mean, if you won't even show them and won't tell them that you have those resources in the hideout, nobody's gonna know about it. And the forest also prevail in the sense of being, being the place of the food. I mean, where the food goes, goes in the forest. I mean, you have mushrooms, you have berries, you have rivers near the forest, so you can go fishing, you can go hunting, you can go whatever. So the forest is the place where you can not only hide, or the place where you can, proceed and try for some gamble, or game, whatever you call it, for some game, of course, and catch yourself some fish near the forest. So if you have a river near the forest, so I mean, that's okay to do a very fast supply source. Okay, supply chain is the forest. The forest itself is supply chain, member. So I mean, if you're aware of the supply chain stuff, I mean, you also be having the clothes from the forest, because if you have all this game, you're gonna have all the skins and feather and fur of the animals and birds. So you can use it, and it's probably the best way to keep yourself fit in this stuff, if you have to practice all this stuff. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go ahead and kill somebody, some animal, and practice it, but you might as well go with somebody who's already hunting and check how he's doing that. Maybe practical, let him show you the process, practice with it. I mean, that's the best for the novice. I mean, you don't have to do it by yourself, but you can go with somebody who's already doing it and check out how the thing's going. Especially those who are trying to hide the deers and all this huge amounts of meat. You have to be aware of all this stuff, how to do it, how fast you should do it, what are the main reasons you shouldn't do it and stuff like this. So I mean, all this difference is only done by practice. I mean, the forest life is a forest life, and you have to go to hikes, you have to go to trips or something, you know, for long, at least a week. I can't even, you know, advise you less, but if you go for at least a week once a year, you'll be a lot more fit into the forest than you are right now. So I mean, that is bad. And do it in the winter, because the winter is probably the most rough season for the forest hiking and the mountain hiking. So if you can survive yourself and accommodate yourself for a week with your bare hands, some instruments like axe and stuff like this, I mean, don't, you know, carry with yourself a huge amount of like a trailer or something with all the supplies. No, just do it with your bare hands and some special devices like axe and maybe a saw or whatever you will be needing. Gas lamp is okay because, you know, if you store yourself some gas reservoirs, you probably be using gas lamps and gas kitchen stuff. So that'd be better than use forest fire, because forest fire will definitely show your location. Those who are using the surveillance drones will be easy to see you, okay, and capture you. Okay, so I'm not saying this is a huge topic. I mean, guys, write me in the comments exactly what questions you want about the forest, you know. And I'm not a huge professional in the forest hiking and stuff, but you know, I'm aware of what I'm talking about, and I probably can answer you a bunch of questions because I've been preparing for whatever. You know, I'm ready for whatever. You know, basically, in what I can say, I'm ready for whatever right now. So I mean, I can do almost everything you have to do to survive in the forest. I mean, and that's why I'm visiting the forest as much as I can, so I can feel myself at home in the forest. So I wish I could also be doing this in the mountains, but I don't have any decent mountains, so probably this summer only I can go to the mountains again. Okay, but the area you live in is the best place you can hide. So I mean, if you're aware of the area, of the landscape, of these, you know, toponyms and stuff like this, and you know the map in your brain, not on the paper, because on the paper map won't help you. You have to know the place. I mean, because if you want to hide out for good, you have to be the one who knows the area. Okay, so this is one of the best reasons. Okay, so write me in the comments what questions you want me to answer about this forest stuff. I mean, forest is the best place, but maybe we should talk about also the mountains and stuff. But you know, I'm not a mountain pro or anything like this. I'm not alpine hunter or something. I'm just a forest person who lives near the forest and uses forest as for his, you know, recreation. And I'm ready for whatever. So whatever can happen, I'll be hiding myself and my family in the forest, and I'm prepared for this, and prepared for all those routes, and I know it around myself, my area. So that's what I can talk about, and maybe I can give you some advice if you ask me in the comments. Okay, guys. Next question was where all these replacement people came from. This is not a very hard question. I've been talking about it, about the breeding and all this stuff, and the people came from rural areas. I mean, if they're targeting the cities, if they're targeting those type of capitals, whatever they call them, capitals or Starfords area, maybe that was before, and so the capitals are targeted area. So definitely they can't target all the capitals at the same time. So that's why the idea of simultaneous global attack is not working. Okay, so where all those replacement people came from, that's the question that was asked also in the poll, and I guys want to answer this question. You know, I've been trying to talk about it. I call this, you know, some type of breeding. You know, maybe who knows all these technologies right now, and more aware of biological technologies that we have right now, that we have to obtain right now in the modern era. can maybe describe it a little bit in other way. They're like different types, and they were breeded, and that's so the same was happening back then. So people were breeded, and that breeding was controlled. The people didn't know anything. They were like, participating in these breeding procedures, and they just were living in certain area, and they were participant of the breeding program of a certain area. Okay, and when the certain area wanted to be reset, this biological material was certainly kept for the future, maybe transported on or transferred somewhere, who knows. I mean, all those critics could be like saying, oh shit, that is totally ridiculous. No, it's not ridiculous. I mean, guys, these controlled migration waves that we can, easily track through the history were the breeding and interbreeding technologies that were like described like a migration, but it's not. It's interbreeding technologies, guys. It's community. It's something that is higher than the understanding of a certain community. It's higher than community in the means of control, and planning, and this breeding, guys. It's called breeding, and whoever was trying to send all this false information like genetics or eugenics or whatever you call it, it's just another but less important procedure, because the breeding procedure is a lot more complex than you can imagine. So, and probably the reset technology was to to reduce the cost, or maybe to to reduce the cost, because reducing the cost is the main reason for all the economics and the progress in economics. Okay, so in terms of production and the business, business profits, and the capitalism itself, we can talk about reducing costs and making it cost less than it used to be to increase the profits. So that's the main the main idea of any any production. So if we're talking about miners and who were the architectures of the previous past, is what I can say, because they were funding each and every project, each and every cultural or scientific project. They were probably funding everything. They were probably integrated in this trade union that was called, so some people call it Atlantis, but I can say it's also non-government. Of course, it's a non-government union because it was supported by everybody. So I mean, it's not something that was supposed to be understate, and that's why they were definitely against the empire. At the certain moment, they were betraying the community and engaging with those parasites. In fact, probably the miners were also integrated in the plan, and all this mud flooding is just the technology they can use to prepare the area for the next repopulation. Okay, and I've been talking about it as the mud is the cause, not as a natural, but as an intense action that could be used by those who planning and controlling all this breeding and reset procedures. Okay, so I think I answered the question, and so the main place where they came from is the rural areas and the places that were not flooded as the capitals were, and so the capitals probably is the place that gets the most damage during the reset. Okay, the most things happens in the capitals and the big cities. So think about it, and if you're located near the capital, I don't think you should live inside. Maybe like move a little from it. By the way, the survival locations, and I watched this video about survival locations that I've been talking about, the forest and stuff like this. So that's the main idea that I have. So thanks a lot for following, guys, and see you later. Bye. Yeah, guys, as a prescriptum for today, I'm gonna mention a little fact that coming up, a bunch of bloggers started to mention that all those strange stage pictures, but sometimes even say like they drop the Photoshop pictures with the Photoshop hands, like looking like a monsters and stuff like this. But when you find the original, you see that the fingers don't look this way. Well, anyways, that looks like somebody's trying to research the same thing that I've been saying about those staged pictures of the 19th century. I mean, everything is like really surprising, and this idea is also about those strange looking people with the smaller size and stuff like this, and sometimes crazy hats on and looking like they maybe even like cannibal type of people. I don't know. So tell me what you think in the comments, and see you later. Bye.